Hey, welcome back, guys. One of the highlights in Raising Kanan's second season has been Unique's story, his fall from grace and gradual return to Kingpin status. Much of his reemergence can be attributed to Rock's series of rookie mistakes and her maneuvers against him. However, his capitalization on each subsequent blunder has provided him with the keys back to his power base, using a specific set of those laws to aid him in warfare. In today's video, we'll break down the laws Unique used to regain his position and provide predictions to where his story might end up in the final three. Before we begin, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and bell notification to immediately receive these videos. Also, big thank you to all of my channel donors. If you'd like to be the next one, drop $1 on that Cash App for us. And lastly, a spoiler alert is now in effect for all things Power. Here we go. The context of Unique's narrative this season provides us with keen insight into the rationale behind his moves. His story began in the New York State Penitentiary, following the climactic events of 110, where Rock framed him for shooting a cop. While inside, Nick held his own while maintaining his innocence, notably participating in a prison brawl that would change the trajectory of his criminal life. During the melee, Nick got the better of some miscellaneous prisoners who were in the midst of pressing Marco Baselli, who turned out to be the son of New Jersey crime boss Sal Baselli, though this was unbeknownst to Nick at the time. Following his brief prison stint, Nick experienced a series of unfortunate events. Sure, his release was preceded by a lack of evidence in the shooting of Malcolm Howard, but that doesn't mean the cops were so easily swayed in the matter of his innocence. Upon regaining his liberation back into society, Nick faced some major backlash for his perceived role in the crime, including extreme vandalism of his tailor shop, a severance of his drug supply via Dean, and the betrayal of his right-hand man, Worrell, who chose the greener pastures of Rock's flourishing street business in lieu of Unique's fledgling enterprise. All of these occurrences left the former street boss at a crossroads of sorts. He was robbed of irrevocable time, supply, and association. Moreover, his name in the streets, at least in South Jamaica, Queens, was the best definition of mud due to the overarching police surveillance in his direction. In short, Nick was in a major way, with minimal avenues of security to turn to. What he did have, however, were his instincts, the right connection, and a plan, the latter of which is still developing, yet beginning to really take form. This brings us to the laws implemented in his reversal of fortune. Unique's current position atop the protracted Cold War between him and Rock is supported by several power mandates as outlined by Robert Greene. They are as follows. Law number 3, conceal your intentions. Law number 8, make other people come to you, use bait if necessary. Law number 17, keep others in suspended terror. Law number 22, use the surrender tactic. And lastly, law number 26, keep your hands clean. Let's begin with law number 3. It states, always keep your intentions obscured. This way, your opponents cannot defend themselves. Lead them astray, and by the time they realize your plans, it will be too late. Use humankind's tendency to trust appearances to your advantage. By dangling a decoy set of intentions in front of your opponents, they will fail to see what you're really plotting. This particular strategy is key, because it's here that the entirety of Nick's victory rests upon. It was the foundation for every subsequent deception thereafter, none of which would have been possible if he hadn't abided by this law. Following Nick's aforementioned series of events, he began meddling in Rock's affairs clandestinely. His alliance with Marco Baselli was a major factor in these events, as was his continued association with Worrell, his former lieutenant turned Rock employee and secret mole. Throughout all of this, Nick remained non-committal when confronted by Rock, which brings us to law number 8, which states, it's always preferable to make your opponent come to you, as they will have to abandon their plans and strategies in the process. Lure them in, and then attack. This prevents you from ever reacting to your opponents. Instead, they have to react to you. This means playing the long game, sitting back, and staying calm as others get stuck in the traps you've carefully planned out for them. In this respect, Unique played it by the book. His robbery of Rock's stash house sent her on an episode-long frenzy for its recovery, putting Nick in the emotional driver's seat while the Thomas family scrambled to regain their underworld riches. Not only did he steal the stash, but Nick also stole the stash overseer and Rock's only link to her Colombian connect, leaving her further distressed over the career and potentially life-threatening disappearance. But his next move, once discovered by Rock and the crew, brings us to another law key to his success. Law number 22, which states, surrender before you are about to be defeated. This buys you more time to plot your revenge and to torment your conqueror. By surrendering, you deny them the satisfaction of destroying you. In doing so, you make the act of surrender a tool of power. By yielding, you gain the upper hand because you lull your opponent into believing they have defeated you, even as you plot their downfall. This confuses your opponents and means they are unlikely to act aggressively against you. Once again, Unique used this law to his advantage word for word. Upon being confronted by Rock, he feigned surrender and sued for peace. The key word, of course, being feigned. He emphasized his desire for solitude and presented himself as the pinnacle of weakness to purposely hide his budding strength, leaving Rock completely unsuspecting of any further attempts on her organization by the fledgling former Kingpin. Following the incorporation of this tactic, he introduced another in the form of law number 17, keep others in suspended terror, which states, humans are creatures of habit who look for familiar patterns in the behaviors of others. By acting unpredictably, your opponents will tire themselves out by trying to predict and analyze your moves. This means occasionally striking without warning. When you act predictably, you give others power over you. If you act unsurprisingly, they will feel that they don't understand you and will be intimidated. Neek exhibited this law through his random trips to Liliana's store, whom he just previously kidnapped. And to add insult to injury, the site is the hub of Rock's stash in which he robbed. During these visits, a snickering Neek psychologically controlled the familiar scene by posing as simply another store patron, fueling fear within Liliana and subtly attaching strain to her and Rock's business relationship, the seeds of which we're beginning to see take form. But Neek's final act in this series is arguably his most remarkable, and one that solidified his renewed position over Rock once again. The tenets of it are found in law number 26, which states, you must maintain a spotless appearance. You should never be associated with nasty deeds. To do this, employ the use of scapegoats to disguise your involvement. Your reputation depends more on what you conceal than what you reveal. You should always have a convenient scapegoat on hand for when needing to conceal your more dubious activities. Unique's greatest application of this strategy was his use of Worrell against Rock's organization. Once Neek's loyal lieutenant, he briefly left his street boss for the aforementioned greener pastures of Rock's budding enterprise. However, thankfully for Unique, the ties that bind are greater than the ones that fold, and his history with Worrell provided him with keen insight on everything that he didn't know yet needed to. He learned from Rel that Rock had Italian problems and used him to secure a parlay between her, the Basellis, and of course himself. Already aware of his advantage with the Jersey outfit via his prior saving of Marco, masterfully, Neek assisted in forging a peace treaty between Rock and the Italians, with one small caveat. He was to be the one who ran Rock's Jersey endeavors, once again placing himself as her superior. Rock acquiesced to this mandate through gritted teeth, and Neek didn't have to lift a finger to take control in this part of his comprehensive plan. And that'll do it for this one. What are your thoughts on Unique's rise back to power? And what will it mean for Rock going forward? Be sure to drop me your opinions in the comments below. As always, I thank you for watching today's video. If you liked today's video, go ahead and drop $1 on that Cash App for us, hit the like button, share it with your friends who are Power fans, and subscribe for more content such as this. This is Rudy P. Magic of Rudy P. Magic Beats, and have a blessed one until the next one. Peace, y'all.